new things happening on the horizon. We recently got the news story of Netflix potentially announcing the acquisition of Warner Brothers. So that's probably one of the biggest business stories in the past couple of years. And it is a move that can fundamentally basically change the chessboard for everyone in pro wrestling, but also, movies and entertainment in general, because Netflix is a specific, like, they focus on streaming. And I think there's also a concern about them not wanting to do theatrical releases. There's a whole other conversation when it comes to that. And in a massive $82.7 billion deal, Netflix officially agreed to acquire Warner Brothers, and that includes their film studios, HBO and HBO Max. So before the deal closes, Warner Brothers is spinning off their cable networks, including TNT Sports, into a separate company called Discovery Global. So, WWE and John Cena and everybody there, they're on Netflix. AEW, at least when it comes to TNT and TBS, that those channels would be in a different company under Discovery Global. So the deal is complicated, but I think it's an interesting conversation to have about what are the implications for AEW in the future. So let's see. So basically, I mean, think of all the properties that would potentially now just be kind of shoved together, right? You had Game of Thrones, DC, Harry Potter, and then you're smashing them together with, Stranger Things, and I don't know, Orange is the New Black, and all those other Netflix properties. There's a bunch of things. I mean, K-pop, Demon Hunters. I mean, that's everywhere, right? There's a bunch of things. There's just so much content. I can't tell you, like, oh, what's super popular, because there's a lot of it everywhere. So the deal excludes WBD's global networks division. So that includes CNN, TNT Sports, and the Discovery channels. And they want this, or are expecting to finalize this in late 2026 or early 2027. So the move allows Netflix to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations, including theatrical releases. And basically, we might potentially have a massive library of Warner Brothers and Netflix and everything that they distribute within that bubble under the Netflix umbrella. So the interesting thing about the press release states that TNT Sports and the cable networks are spinning off into a new company called Discovery Global. So let me ask you this, Andres. Do you feel like this potentially leaves AEW vulnerable, since they're no longer attached to the Warner Brothers war chest, and Discovery Global would be a much smaller company? Do you feel like that hurts their negotiating power?
I do feel like it throws some kind of a wrench into it, because, like, it's a smaller company too, and then with the acquisition of WB, it could maybe not like detrimentally, but I think it would put a bump in the road for them.
Mhm.
But not too sure with it, because I heard about that, but I was not gonna lie, I was actually very confused when I heard what was going on. I was like, wait, because I don't have a lot of streaming networks other than the ones that you let me share of yours. So when I was watching like Saturday Night Main Event or a pay per view at the time, but so I wasn't too sure, especially hearing like how WWE is gonna be split up now with that too. Like that's just random. I feel like it's gonna make things harder probably for everyone. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing with
Yeah.
like WWE also going to what, Netflix is going to be on Raw, and then the other shows are going on different ones too. It's just seems kind of messy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like
That's also because we came from an easier time too to watch it. Like it was just two channels. You had everything. You had WCW on one, WWE. So.
Yeah, I mean, like the United States kind of gets the shaft because we have all these shows on different channels, and then the rest of the world has like WWE properties on Netflix, including the shows, NXT, PLAs, and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, so the interesting thing about this specific deal, so it's not finalized yet because it still has to go through a bunch of hoops before people can actually approve it, including the Department of Justice and folks in the government who have to look into this because this is a giant monopolization of entertainment and movies and TV shows and being gobbled up by Netflix. You could potentially see this as a well, it's a monopoly. It would be a monopoly, but I'm trying to find the other word for it. But anyways, people think it would be a monopoly on the entertainment industry, the theater, the movie theaters. People would be losing their jobs because you're combining two companies. You lose a lot of money. So the way to save money is you cut a bunch of jobs. And yeah, and then you probably are going to pay more for the service because now you have a bigger library, and
Yeah.
they're going to increase it from 20 to, I don't know, $30 because look at all the new deals that you're getting with this new acquisition. But I guess like for AEW, because this is kind of like part of the main conversation, their current deal seems to stand, and it's fine because I think it lasts until 2027, something like that. Like their contract with TBS and TNT, and then HBO Max, they have their pay-per-views and they stream on there. So right now it's fine. And Netflix and everybody, I mean, like it's probably very bottom on the totem pole for them to like worry about like where AEW is going. But I think it's interesting to discuss because there is that predicament that AEW, their shows are on TNT and TBS, and those specific channels are getting pushed off to Discovery Global, which would be a separate company from Warner Brothers. It'd be much smaller. It would have less money. So theoretically, if they renew their contract, they would be getting much less for their contracts, and ergo probably have less money, pay less people, probably have to cut folks. And then HBO Max is going to Netflix. That specific part would go to Netflix. So AEW is currently using HBO Max to stream all their shows, including their pay-per-views, and Netflix would be swallowing that. So I know that WWE. I don't like people say that WWE doesn't have much say in it, but I'm just thinking like politically, if you have a 10-year deal with this specific wrestling company, do they have some kind of say if like they acquire this Warner Brothers and they have a wrestling company there? Do they keep them on Netflix? Like I don't know, Chris. What do you think? Do you feel like there could be some issues there?
I feel like there has to be, but I mean, maybe that's something they already thought about when they were doing meetings and trying to get this deal together, because it seems like usually you announce something like this when things were already thought out, I imagine, and then things just need to be finalized. Like all the legal shit has been thought about, or maybe not.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I would love to sit in the boardroom. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in like a WWE executive meeting with like Netflix and see if they're talking about AEW. And we're like, oh, what are we gonna do about this? It'd be interesting.
I mean, I'm sure they do if they have a nickname for Tony Khan. Like obviously they talk about them because it's in
Snowman?
yeah, it's in their wheelhouse.
Is that what it was? The
Yeah.
Snowman?
Yeah.
That's great.
So, I mean, David, what do you think? All this news, like, obviously they still have their contract and their deal up, so it's not like anything's changing in the next like 2 years. But what do you think happens after that for them?
Yeah, they'll just go wherever Turner goes and take whatever they get. I'm sure they'll find a streaming deal.
Do you think there's a possibility that maybe they just do go on Netflix and we just have WWE and AEW on Netflix?
I wouldn't be surprised.
The Forbidden
It's not
Door.
like,
Yeah, right.
because it's like in Netflix's argument, it's like, okay, WWE, you don't want them here. All these animation companies don't want these other animation companies here, and they're dealing with it.
Right. Yeah, I
There
think
you go.
that's the more. I think that's the more interesting scenario
Like,
is if they just coexist on the same app. You could theoretically have like competition because now you're dealing with the same streaming service,
I
and
mean, end of the
yeah,
day, at that level, it's like they're just items. So it's like, oh, like Sprite's out selling Coke. Oh
right.
no, guess who wins? The Coca-Cola company.
That's true. That's true.
Uh,
You're right. Um, but sometimes, like Netflix cancels shit all the time if it underperforms, or if it has like one or two seasons, then it goes away. So I guess that's where I guess it'd be like WWE Raw and SmackDown, even though they would never get rid of it. I mean, I guess AEW got rid of Rampage, but now I'm just like thinking out loud. Um, so I think that would be an interesting predicament if AEW and WWE were both under the Netflix umbrella, which I think is a possibility. And again, I think they just still have to deal with, the acquisition. Um, but I would like to see like a DC Universe WWE crossover.
no, oh no,
uh, I mean, like Cody Rhodes has worked with Warner
dorky
Brothers, I
comics.
think. Cody Rhodes wasn't he on Arrow, and there was I think he was on some kind of talent show called Go
I
Big
know,
Show. Go Big
yeah.
Show.
Without the Big Show,
Yeah, like every time he keeps
missed
saying it, I'm like, are
opportunity.
you talking about Paul White or are you talking about
No, no,
like
the Big Show.
yeah, Go Big Show. But if you like he just sounds like he's just,
Like you're cheering him on.
encouraging Paul White to, choke slam somebody. Go Big Show. Um Now, I guess like it hasn't really happened too much, but maybe you can correct me. Like WWE superstars crossing over into other franchises like that are on Netflix and stuff. Does that currently happen? I don't know. I guess like they have like documentaries and,
Cody
and things like that.
has uh Cody was on a cartoon that Kenny Omega voice they both did voice acting for uh little things like that.
Mhm. So, I mean, I feel like we could see, I think, I mean, the deal just started. I think it is for like 10 years, isn't it? Like for
Yeah.
Netflix. So, like, they got a shit ton of time with Netflix. And then I guess after 10 years, they have the option to renew for another 10 years. So, we could potentially have Raw and WWE on Netflix until we're almost 60. uh, and yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about. Um, Chris, let me ask you this: like, if you're the Netflix CEO and you own the rights to the Raw live stream, and then you just bought the platform, you just bought HBO Max that um, AEW was likely targeting for streaming. Do you try to buy AEW streaming rights too, or do you freeze them out to protect your WWE investment? If you're the Netflix boss,
Are you saying like should he buy the streaming rights for it, or like leave them
what
out?
would
You're
you
saying?
do if you're the Netflix CEO? What would you do?
I mean, shit, money's money. Probably just best of both worlds. We're getting greedy. A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Why is that? Is it you think you'd make more money if both of them were there?
You're gonna get some percentage of wrestling fan that's probably specifically watching AEW. So you're just gonna attract more people, more eyeballs to your product. So I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
If you're saying Netflix CEO, right?
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah.
Like you own the rights to Raw. I mean, I guess like internationally, everything else. And I'm saying you just bought HBO Max.
More is
The
better.
AEW,
It's like you
is
get
yeah.
you got Disney owning the other half of media, and
Everything.
now you have Netflix owning the rest of it, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, would they still have HBO Max, or would they just shove it all under Netflix? like you said, Disney Plus has Hulu shows and all those other subsects of studios in as an option for you to like stream, right? Like Star Wars, Simpsons, Fox, all that kind of stuff is under the Disney Plus umbrella. Do you think it would just be all under Netflix?
That's what I think. I'm guessing they're just trying to do what Disney's doing because Disney is the competition, right? As far as like media and what you're putting out and what people are consuming. So they
Yeah.
probably want to do something similar, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right in the sense like, and I don't know if we're just eventually just going to have, two streaming services or just eventually one streaming service. Everything's going to be like ruled by one giant company.
Red pill, blue pill.
It's going to be very like Matrix, Alien, post nuclear war type shit, all under the same God.
Netflix.
AI.
Yeah, all hail Netflix. Everything. Netflix military, Netflix
Grocery
internet.
stores.
Yeah, grocery stores. I mean, Amazon's already doing that shit, but I'm
Right.
saying like even Amazon's gone. It'll just be on Netflix.
What happened to Amazon? Netflix bought them.
Netflix shipping. And you could watch a fucking 30-minute Simpsons episode while you wait for your fucking package for some reason. And it tracks your package while you're watching the Simpsons episode.
Sounds disgusting.
Andres, I guess same question for you. If you're the Netflix CEO and you own the rights to Raw, WWE, and then you just bought HBO Max that AEW is probably going to target for streaming, do you buy AEW's streaming rights or do you freeze them out to protect your WWE investment?
I'll probably line it up with like what Chris was saying, just get everyone in on one. But then probably the premium will probably go like up ridiculous for everyone. But I don't know. I feel like because there's so much wrestling now, it could be more convenient to pay probably a little bit more to get it all from your TV service. So I feel like that would probably be a safer bet. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like as a consumer, I probably would be happier with that maybe because like, oh, it's all on one. I don't have to keep track of multiple ones now. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean
who
it's
knows?
convenient,
Who
but
knows though? Like, if I'm like the
yeah.
one that decides I want to do it, and then like WWE's like, no, we don't want them. Here's all this extra money, so you can't bring them on here to try to convince you not to bring them over. I can see WWE wanting to be like, no, kind of like how they don't share the Allstate Arena.
Yeah, yeah, WWE and Netflix have the contract. So I feel like even if there might be any issues, I don't know if you can get out of it unless you want to get sued or you lose all the money that you put into it. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if WWE would care that much. I guess it's just does Netflix see them as profitable is all. If they're losing them money, then I guess that's what it boils down to, right? Even if they acquire them. And I mean, AEW like on cable, and again, I guess this is cable. So if you get HBO Max, I don't know how that works, but like they are a top show in their time slot. So it's like they have something to, put their hat on. But I guess when it comes to Netflix, like the actual streaming, and that's its own beast. It has its own parameters, and I guess they recently changed the way you measure ratings and stuff with this new model, and apparently it's pretty fucky. So, and I think it's also affecting wrestling and other things too. So, I don't know if they'd have as big of a selling point, until they sort out this new rating system. Well, David, let me ask you this before we move on to our main segment about the perfect retirement. What do you think if you were the Netflix CEO? What would you do to AEW?
I
Would you
would
buy them?
probably just see what Warner was gonna do with them and just ride that out. And then if it's the boot right after, it's the boot right after.
Yeah,
Because I mean, like
that's fair.
they're pretty much up at the same time. So it's just like, are you keeping them? No. Okay, sweet. Are you keeping them? Yeah. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Would it boil down to like a bidding war? Whichever company wants to pay for the time slot, I guess.
Tubi.
Yeah,
Because they're not.
VTV, Pluto.
Well, Turner's still gonna be a channel on cable,
Right.
so it's just like
It's just a matter of like, all
just
right,
for the
well,
streaming rights.
right. But that's the thing. It's like, do you want to pigeonhole yourself into cable when that's clearly going away? And I think the way to survive in this new
Cable's
era is jumping on streaming.
cable's still important for ad revenue.
Yes, that's true.
So until that goes away,
I mean,
guess
WWE
they
is
suck.
doing pretty well. They have like 50 commercials per 20-second matches, so they get ad revenue at the sacrifice of all the ads. But you know, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Whenever this deal goes down, if it goes down, I feel like with this administration, and be like, sure, fuck it, why not buy out Warner Brothers? Who cares? And I think that's where it's going to go. Unfortunately, I think you're right in the sense of, they talk with the Warner Brothers boss, and I don't know, like, you can't have like two. Well, I guess he could still be the CEO of Warner Brothers, but it just depends on like how they structure it. Because if Warner Brothers just disappears and it's just the property, and they don't have an
Right.
actual like Warner Brothers division, you just have the Netflix chief, and then you have intellectual property. That's different, like the CEO of that company is probably going to go away, and all you're getting is the intellectual property, and the actual paper pushing is done through the Netflix CEO. So he might ask, or I mean, he'll have access to all the numbers and stuff, and then probably make his decision that way. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it won't even go through. Who knows? And I'm just being a cynic, but these kind of acquisitions, I mean, with Disney is a good example. Skydance and Paramount is another good example. They all went through, and this seems like an inevitability, but I guess we'll see. Finally, I want to